people. It's like what they're like rotting in D.C. jail cells, basically being tortured. That's cruel and unusual punishment, deprived of a trial. Yeah. How long are they going to be there? They turned that D.C. jail cell into Guantanamo North, and the only thing that ever happens is like Donald Trump tweeting about it. Donald Trump was president when that process began. No one wants to talk about that either. He was still president for another 2 weeks.
Which process?
Rounding up January 6th. His innocent supporters, some of them, of course, were innocent. He didn't do anything. He was president for 2 weeks and did nothing except give presidential commendations to Anthony Fauci and Mark Milley.
Well, are you holding that against him now?
Of course.
Oh, I see.
Of course. It's like outrageous. It's outrageous. This guy's still like bragging about, his amazing work on, Operation Warp Speed and, complaining about stuff. And it's like, dude, you were in power for 2 weeks. Why didn't you do something?
He probably had his hands full trying to figure out how to stay in office.
He had time to sounds like we're going to get into a debate right here.
No.
He had time to give presidential accommodations to Anthony Fauci, Dingbat Debbie Birx, Mark Milley, a whole parade of stooges that participated in the obliteration of constitutional rights for like 9 months, like almost an entire year. He handed the country over to Anthony Fauci and these public health people, and still found time to give them presidential accommodations. And guess what else he found time to do?
What?
Pardon real felons. He found time to issue pardons to real convicted felons while his innocent protesters were being hunted down even at that moment by his own goon, Chris Wray. So,
how do you feel about the candidacy of Robert F. Kennedy Jr.?
I think he has added an important voice to this race, and I'm glad that he ran. I don't know what he would be like as president.
He's still running. As of early March.
I'm glad he decided to run.
Okay.
No, I'm glad he's still running, and I think he's a great kind of viewpoint for all sorts of reasons. I mean, he's the only one talking about, pharmaceutical fraud.
Yeah.
Which is, that's a big problem. Food safety, food supply safety. I mean, that's a big problem.
Sure.
Those are issues. The more you dive into them, the more freaked out you get, and you're just like, what? That can't possibly be true. Dig. It's true. Well, what? Well, that can't be true. Dig. That's true too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's some really disturbing stuff. So I'm not saying that I'm not, marching in parades for the guy or anything. I'm just saying I think he's added an important perspective. I think the more choices, the better. The more perspectives, the better.
Aside from the Mark Steyn, which is Steyn spelled website, are there other places that people can follow you through social media?
Not really. I haven't really organized that part of my life yet. I mean, I have a Facebook page, a personal Facebook page. I mean, there's a pro one that I never go on, and then I've got all my personal Facebook pages where I can kind of shoot my mouth off every once in a while. And I don't really go on Twitter because, I don't know, I just haven't paid that extra money so I can go on rants, and it's hard to fit all the thoughts into three sentences.
I see. Well, if the gigs continue, hopefully, I don't know, and if they don't raise it too high, then maybe you can find a happy medium.
Sure.
Yeah, because G Van Fleet is also on Twitter. That's the only place that she is, because up until now, it's the only place that's free. Inside, when I'm saying, censorship free. Yeah.
Well, I like Twitter. I mean, I go scrolling. That's another great alternative news source. You see clips on there. Yeah. People are like wandered around. They like surreptitiously recorded some, school board meetings somewhere, so you can kind of get like that ground level view of a lot of stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
So I really esteem Twitter, and I'm really glad they opened it up. I mean, people. There's always debate about Elon Musk. Is he is he really on our side? Is he really the free speech libertarian guy? I don't know. All I know is that it's a lot more open than it used to be.
Well, he seems to be, the libertarian.
He seems to be.
But he also appointed in charge of business a lady from the Council on Foreign Relations.
Why would he do that?
Or World Economic Forum.
Yeah. Why did he do that?
It's very suspicious.
Yeah.
maybe she's waiting, for the assassination of him or something, and then they'll take it over again.
Yeah, that was eyebrow raising for
all
sure.
this data. Yeah.
Why would he do that? I don't know.
Well, after as good an interview as this was today, I'm sure Joe Rogan will be calling you soon.
I'll tell you, Joe Rogan is another guy that I have a lot of respect for.
In what regard?
Well, there's this thing there's this thing where in any kind of field of endeavor, you've got these successes, and when you're outside that field of endeavor, it's really easy to watch your favorite basketball team and your favorite hockey team and criticize the players, or if you're in the the entertainment business or you're interested in the world of ideas, to criticize guys like Joe Rogan. And I got into an argument about this the other day, because somebody I know was kind of beating up on Joe, and I'm like, you got to be kidding! This guy has excelled in how many different realms, right? I mean, come on. It's like when I first got going in the music biz, and I got my big record deal, and all of a sudden I was in the rock and roll high school, so to speak. I was kind of in the big leagues, even though I hadn't even put an album out yet at the time. And all of a sudden, I got a perspective that I'd never had before, even though my dad was a famous musician. I'd never been in the meetings before. I'd never hung out with the bands before, but I really started to see how difficult it is to stay there and to have success after success after success. So, you've these guys that have been in MLB for 14 years, and you've never heard of them because they're like a third string, they're like a third tier pitcher, or they're like a utility. I mean, to just stay at the top level in any capacity is itself like an incredible achievement. And then you get to guys like Joe Rogan. He's not the only guy out there, but Joe Rogan, who's good at he's like champion in 5 different realms, and just sits there and shoots the breeze like a normal interested, curious guy would do. I'm totally in favor of it. I think and also, now that I'm thinking about it, the amount of people that when he got started with podcasts, which was almost 2 decades ago, amazingly, right? That's 15 years, 16, 17 years ago, said this is never going to work. This is stupid. We live in an ADHD society. Nobody's going to sit around and listen to an hour and a half interview. And he was like, no, man, I think there's something here. Everybody says he was crazy, and here he is all these years later. Yeah.
But like pop music, there's only so much room right now. If you look at the ads for podcast equipment that you could buy and make your own podcast, but there's only so much room for people in the top 10.
Yeah. Well, he's good, but also he was there first, right? Yeah. So you put those two things together, you're first to market and you're good at what you do.
Yeah.
And then you're looking at 2 decades of domination. So,
but you have a Twitter account. Can people follow you there, or you're not posting enough?
They could, but there's not much to follow. It's like at Tal_Bachman. So that's my thing on Twitter.
Cool.
I don't really go there that often, though.
When you're at airports waiting to board the plane?
Well, I just don't tweet. I go to Twitter and look around.
I see, yeah.
I just don't post on Twitter because I don't really have... There's, like I said, I just haven't paid the money yet, so I don't really have space to defend anything that I would say. And I really don't like the hit and run type thing, like A is B and B is C and C is D. Yeah. And then it's the end. Yeah. I like kind of defending what I'm saying, so I just haven't gotten there yet.
But even without the record deal, are you still putting out songs?
Well, I'm gearing up to.
Okay.
Yeah. Dad and I did an album together. We got it in the tank, so that should be coming out within the next 8-9 months. And I'm working on some other projects.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you'd like to plug?
To plug? At the moment, no, but maybe we can do a follow-up and I'll have something to plug. Yeah. I'm working on something that will be pluggable, but it's just a bit early.
Terrific. Tal, thank you so much for speaking.
Yeah, thanks
for having me. It's been terrific. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.